So now we have these two stems. They were all part of one tree. The two butt logs have been removed from this tree already, and this is where they split into two separate stems. So now we'll go along and we will delimb the rest of the tree. When we are delimbing, we'll go along the left side here, and we'll reach over and cut limbs on the other side as well. If this were on a side hill and like this, and the tree were lying across the side hill, if we were to stay on the left side and cut the limbs off, it could roll on top of us. So then we would start at the top of the tree and work back and be on the left side that way. So as we cut these limbs, there are going to be some fairly large limbs. All the limbs should be cut flush to the stem. Those large limbs, if we were to try to cut them flush right at the first, it's very possible with all that weight we'd get pinched. So on those larger limbs, we'll do them in two stages. We'll cut away from the stem first, get rid of the weight, and then we'll make a second cut flush with the stem. So now we will continue delimbing, getting rid of small saplings that might be in the way. We've sped up the video to save some time. Again, as we encounter larger limbs, we'll cut them away from the stem first and then flush. It just takes a lot of weight off the stem and makes it easier to cut and less likely to get pinched. Continuing on up the stem. Again, cutting the larger limbs away from the stem, then flush. As we get closer to the top of the stem, the diameter decreases. And so we'll get to the point typically in the 4 to 6 inches where we will actually cut the top off and leave it in the bush. Being a pine tree, there are lots of limbs to remove. Typically throwing the limbs out of the way so that we don't trip over them as we continue delimbing the stem. There, the top of this stem has been removed.
There's a lower stem that still needs to be delimbed before being topped. Now the second stem has been topped, and there's a third stem remaining. And now it's been topped as well. Look for limbs under the stems that haven't been removed yet. Come to the other side of the stem as we come back towards the butt, and again removing any limbs that haven't been delimbed yet. Any pieces of stems that hadn't been removed before are removed now. Again, all limbs are cut flush to the stem so that there's no remaining knobs. Being careful not to get pinched. And remove any remaining limbs. Again, watching for tension and compression. The first stem has two stems coming from it, so we'll cut them off. So now the tree has been delimbed and the logs can be skidded from the bush.